Welcome to the Fantasmagorium show. Today on the show, our Masters of the Universe review continues with a panel of experts. M. Night beats G.I. Joe at the box office. Galaxy Quest refuses to give up and will never surrender. And Dexter fans rejoice. The serial killer with a heart of gold gets a new trailer. Let's go.
And we are live.
What's going on, Steve?
Hey, man. How was your weekend?
It was really, really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did we do anything special?
I had interesting conversations over on other channels. Mr. Brown's Alliance is where I was and had a spirited debate. And then talked about Back to the Future Part 2. I mowed a lawn. What else did I do? I got a Slurpee. It's been a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, I worked all weekend. So, yeah. Yay for me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I worked on the channel. There was a bunch of stuff we had to do on the channel and the website. Speaking of the website, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Like we do every day, you know, we always ask you to please subscribe, like, and share our content. We love subscriptions. That's great. But liking, share, and especially sharing our content really helps the channel grow. And we appreciate you doing that. Also, comments. We love your comments. We interact with the comments at the end of the show. If you'd like to send a tip with your comment or question, please do so. www.streamelements.com/phantasmagoriumshow/tip. We also have a website you can visit that has all of our shows. It also has a link to our audio-only podcast. Visit us at www.phantasmagoriumshow.com.
Please.
So go ahead.
Do we have something to show off? Something shiny and interesting?
We do. So YouTube wants us to make basically a welcome type video to put on the channel to get people to subscribe and interact. So Scotty and I did that. Now, when I clipped it out, I put music to it that I thought made it a little more interesting. It's a very short clip, but Scotty didn't like the music. He's like, no with the music. So we thought we'd leave it up to you guys. So we're going to play the clip and tell us if you'd like to keep the music, yay, or dump the music.
And it's up to you. We'd like to know your feedback. Yeah. It doesn't really matter what we think. If the music stays, then I will live with it. But I want to know from you guys. What do you think? Yeah,
so let us know in the comments right now, yay or nay with the music.
And if you're watching this later, please put it in the comments in the future. Please tell us what happens in the future.
Awesome. Let's check it out and see where we go.
Hello, and welcome to the Fantasmagorium Show channel. I am Scotty R37.
And I'm Steve Foley. Please join us Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time,
as we run down today's top television and movie news headlines, comment on geeky pop culture, and talk about the things we love.
So don't miss an episode. Please hit that subscribe button now.
Do it.
Do it now. Oh, we are a cheeky little bunch, aren't we?
I really like the intro. Like, I think that's a fantastic trailer. I think it showcases both our personalities and what we want to do here. I'm just curious about the soundtrack. That's all.
So, do you want to replace the soundtrack, or do you just want it completely gone?
I don't want to influence this any more than I already have by making this a poll. We've asked everyone who's welcome at the Fantasmagorium, and I'd like to hear what they want. Like, what do you have to say? Oh, and by the way, if you're already subscribed to us, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so with that kind of down and out of the way, we'll get back to your comments about our little intro.
You're gonna find out. You're part of the marketing.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But let us know what you think, and we'll get back to that. by the end of the show. First off, we always do this on Mondays. We try to run down the box office over the weekend. And M. Night Shyamalan's Old beat the crap out of G.I. Joe this weekend. And I don't think anybody really saw that coming. Except for the fact that we did get early reviews for Snake Eyes that were really horrible. So obviously, I think that, along with the fact that I just don't know if this IP, at least right now, is viable. It doesn't seem to be. And I know they were banking on this as kind of a way to reboot the franchise, but it surely did not work. As far as brand names go, this is from Box Office Mojo, by the way. As far as brand names go, it looks like G.I. Joe is no match for M. Night Shyamalan. Many were expecting this weekend to be won by Snake Eyes, which is essentially I think is what they say, reboot of the G.I. Joe series. But Old, the latest from Shyamalan, snuck past it despite not setting the box office on fire itself. Well, here's the thing. Right now, nobody's going to the movies, obviously. We've seen this since the second week of The Black Widow. That had a huge drop for a number of different reasons, pandemic and and a bunch of other stuff. So nobody's, and we're seeing it even on television. The Olympics is the lowest rated Olympics in 33 years. So it's rough right now for broadcasters and theaters. But
people want to go outside.
They do. I think people want to go outside and hang out and not go to the movies, unfortunately. Old took home $16.5 million for the weekend from 3,355 theaters. Wow. Film cost $18 million and is the fourth lowish budget self-financed film from M. Night Shyamalan. Old is I didn't realize this, but Old, which is based on a graphic novel, Sandcastle, by Pierre Oscar Levy and Frederick Peters, also took home another $6.5 million internationally, with some of its top markets including Russia, UK, Ireland, Mexico, Italy, and France. So yeah, it pulled past G.I. Joe's Snake Eyes. That made $13.4 million. When you compare that to Rise of the Cobra, which at $54 million and Retaliation at $40 million, wow, man, that's a steep decline.
Yes. Well, part of the joy of watching a G.I. Joe movie is seeing a bunch of G.I. Joes interact, seeing what the costumes are going to be like, and see what the action is. If you take one G.I. Joe, pardon me, in this instance, two, and then you say, we're going to make a movie, and then the reviews say, this isn't even a Snake Eyes movie, then nobody's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it suffered from that and some really bad reviews. Right before well, you can, so here's kind of a rule of thumb. If they hold the review embargo to the day that the movie premieres, not a good movie. They're hiding it. They're hiding the movie.
Of course.
It very rarely will studios hold back the review embargo that late, unless they're trying to avoid spoilers or something like that, like a big, huge Marvel film or something. But even then you're getting, the press is getting access a week or two early, at least 4 or 5 days early. This one, you had to wait till premiere day to even be able to talk about a real review about the movie.
Which is disappointing because the first trailer didn't inspire me. The second trailer looked like it was going to be a good movie. And then when the reviews came out, I was just like, yeah, okay, that's kind of what I expected in the first place. But Old is something that looks interesting and different and edge of your seat, spine tingling kind of fantasy thriller, if not flat out horror. And that's different. And also, if you want to go see a spy action movie, like adventure, big budget spectacle, are you going to choose Snake Eyes or are you going to go to Black Widow?
Right. And Black Widow every time.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So
I think it suffered from various problems. One being not huge, even though we love Henry Golding, He's still not, I don't think, a marquee name yet. I think he will be, just not yet. And the other actors, as good as they may be, are still they're not known quantities yet. So that's unfortunate, but and it was a lower budget movie. It didn't cost a lot to make, but they were hoping for way better than 13 million. So 13, and that's as good as it's going to get for them. So that's going to be rough sailing for Snake Eyes.
I was so looking forward to Shipwreck, G.I. Joe Origins, but no,
of course,
thanks, guy.
Right. So rounding out the box office for July 23rd to 25th, Old 16.5 million, Snake Eyes with 13.4 million, Black Widow with another 11.6 million, Space Jam: A New Legacy 9.6 million, and F9 Function Key 9 $4.7 million. So not a good weekend at the box office if you're a content creator.
Filmmaker or a studio.
That's a rough weekend.
Yeah.
Hopefully we start to bounce back out of that, but I think time will only tell there.
Well, what's the next good thing coming out? Like the big thing?
I don't have anything in front of me, so I don't really know. I mean, look, after that Dune trailer dropped, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. I think next would be Jungle Cruise. I think is the next big blockbuster kind of movie coming out.
Yeah, I've heard people want to see that.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, right. It's The Rock, Emily Blunt. Come on.
And I believe that one is not going to be premiere access on Disney Plus for $30. I think it's only in theaters. I could be wrong about that.
I thought it was going to be the last one that was going to be.
It could be the last. Maybe that's the last one. Then that would make Shang-Chi the very first one that's not.
And when Shang-Chi?
It's just right around the corner.
Is it August or is it? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Suicide Squad. I'm an idiot.
Suicide Squad first, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. And we're looking forward to that wackiness. That looks like a bonkers movie.
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, dude, for sure. So right before we went to air, Blade Runner Black Lotus trailer dropped.
Hell yeah!
This is Adult Swim, I believe. It's an animated movie, Blade Runner movie.
Yes,
so
and
we
Crunchyroll.
And Crunchyroll, right? Is it Crunchyroll? Yeah, cool. So let's play that and see what that's all about, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. I haven't seen it yet. Have you?
It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool.
Everything intended will happen.
This little light I found, take it in, breathe it out.
Where am I?
A little drum that's beating loud.
Forgive me.
In my chest I hear the sound.
You lost?
Leave me alone!
I can feel.
How did I do these things?
Oh, it's so low.
I'd walk away from this whole thing.
I can't do that.
I can feel you now.
There are ways you have to do things if you want them to happen.
Need to borrow this.
Freeze!
Have we met?
Maybe.
I want every available officer mobilized, hunt down, eliminate Black Lotus.
Blade Runner Black Lotus. Coming this fall. Only on Adult.
Okay. So beautiful. The animation looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I can already hear the like I said right in the middle of the thing. Oh, it's so wow. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But that's fine.
so
They've never heard of Priss. That's not my problem.
Right. Did I hear Brian Cox in there?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
The
man, that's
cast
awesome.
for it is actually quite
I
impressive.
haven't seen it yet. The casting. I should have grabbed it, but this was like right before we went on air. I was like, well, okay. Yeah, that looks great. I did see a couple of comments that said, yeah, that looks great, but whoever made this has never seen Blade Runner. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. And then another
see-
one said, yeah, the animation looks great, but it doesn't feel like Blade Runner to me. Like, I don't know. That kind of felt like it was in the universe, in world.
I know a couple of people would have a long conversation about this. I'm just going to be concise and say that some people think that Roy Batty is the main character of the original Blade Runner. And so having a show that's about the replicant on the run, that's interesting to me. I hope that there's a Blade Runner as well. I want to see a Voight Kampf machine, but that didn't look not like Blade Runner.
It was a weird comment, and I was like, okay, well, it was on the video, on the trailer comments.
Weird.
I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. I'm
looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I just like that we're actually getting, we're expanding the Blade Runner universe, and we're getting more good stuff from Blade Runner. So that's pretty awesome. Next I wanted to talk. I'm going to pivot a little bit out of movies into a book, basically.
Yes.
Cowboy, Poet, Outlaw, Madman is selected poems by Val Kilmer. Before he was Iceman or Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer was a poet. Cinematic in detail and cosmic in scope, Cowboy, Poet, Outlaw, Madman includes a selection of Val's poetry from the past 33 years with a foreword by David Mamet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. Praises for Cowboy, Poet, Outlaw, Madman come from Cher, Robert Downey Jr., and Sean Penn. So all his buddies came out, obviously, to support that. A24 is actually produced the book, and you can get it on their website if you'd like to purchase that. I think it's like $40-$50. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. 33 years of poetry from Val Kilmer.
That is very interesting.
So I thought we'd bring you that information, and if you are so inclined, grab the book.
I'm really pulling for Val Kilmer. I heard he was a bit of a dick, but I respect him as an artist, and he's got the documentary coming out called Val.
That came out this weekend.
It just came out this weekend.
Limited release.
So yeah, it's good for Val. I am interested. If he was a difficult performer and someone that would give you a hassle on set, I'd like to sort of peer behind the curtain and check into his poetry and see where the artist's soul was coming from, if you will.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I've always liked Val Kilmer. I've always liked his work, especially some of the stuff we mentioned. But even going back to the early stuff, I really enjoyed his work.
I liked him as Gay Perry in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, right. A great movie. So here's something that I didn't know. When we watched the last Duel trailer last week, Ridley Scott's new film, I didn't, we were talking about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck being in it, being back together on screen again. I didn't realize they actually co-wrote the movie. Matt Damon talks co-writing The Last Duel with Ben Affleck almost 25 years after Good Will Hunting. Their upcoming film, directed by Ridley Scott, is just the second time the actors have teamed to write a script since their work in the 1997 movie that earned Damon and Affleck an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Damon's quoted, "It's the first movie we've written in 25 years or something, and we wrote with another great writer named Nicole." Well, help me with that, Scott.
Holofcener.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry, Nicole.
Sorry, Nicole.
Awesome. But I just couldn't pronounce your name. Damon told host Jimmy Fallon, "We saw it as a story of perspective. And so Ben and I wrote the male perspective, and Nicole wrote the female perspective." Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's I'm looking forward to this movie based on the trailer. What I thought was going to be a kind of an insular, small character study is really way more grand in scope and epic. So I had somebody on Facebook ask the question yesterday, said, when are we going to get another movie like Gladiator, Braveheart? And I said, well, I can't guarantee it, but The Last Duel just might fit the bill. It looks really good. So, we'll see about that. It's nice to see the boys back together writing a film. I loved Good Will Hunting. I thought it was written very well. And to see those guys get together again and do it again is pretty awesome.
It is. I'm looking forward to this collaboration as well. And it's interesting that they brought in a female writer for the female perspective. And that's cool. Also, didn't Matt Damon get in like trouble a little while ago? Like Ben Affleck's been in trouble since Good Will Hunting. But Matt Damon, didn't he get sort of shunned for a little bit?
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It's just an interesting creative decision. I wonder if that informs it. If not, and even if it does, and it's just something that he's moved forward as an artist to include, good for him. We'll see when it comes to the story. But it does look like an epic Arthurian legend, and in that vein. I know it's not specifically Arthurian, but it does look very much like a medieval movie that I would go see. Yeah.
You know what? I was going to save that. This was actually, I had another title in between, but let's skip that because that kind of dovetails into the Green Knight review, but your Arthurian. We'll just kind of segue into that. Dave Patel decapitates his destiny in David Lowery's Arthurian masterpiece. So this is actually one of the first reviews we've gotten for the movie. Cool. And it sounds Green Knight movie is amazing. A mystical and enthralling medieval coming of age story in which King Arthur's overeager adult nephew learns that the world is weirder and more complicated than he ever thought possible. The Green Knight is an intimate epic told with a self-conviction that its hero struggles to find at every turn. Stoned out of its mind and shot with a genre-tweaking mastery that should make John Boorman proud. It's also It's also the rare movie that knows exactly what it is, which is an even rarer movie that's perfectly comfortable not knowing exactly what it is.
Cool.
So so if you guys want to treat, this is from IndieWire. Go to IndieWire and read the rest of this review. It's really good. This movie, since the very first teaser I saw, I don't know, maybe 6 or 9 months ago.
We did a review of it.
We did a review. But since the first one, I've been down with this movie. I'm like, this one looks really good. I like Dev Patel, anyways, but this just looks like a movie that I could sink my teeth into. It's kind of right up my alley. So I was like, all right, this is awesome. And it's great to hear good review for a movie that I have high hopes for.
Yeah. I agree with you. I want to see good movies as well.
Yeah, all the time. I want all the movies to be good. I want all the TV shows to be good too. And it just, it is what it is. Well, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Scotty take over for this one. The Venice Film Festival basically listed their competition, non-competition movies. Now, just as Scotty reads this, just a reminder: this is not the complete list. I curated it a little bit, so this is just kind of notable mentions that I thought were notable.
Yeah. So at the Venice Film Festival, the competition films that Steve has so kindly curated is The Card Counter, directed by Paul Schrader, starring Oscar Isaac, Tiffany Haddish, Willem Dafoe, and Ty Sheridan. Sheridan's still alive.
That looks great. That movie.
Okay. A lot of these I have not seen promotions for, so I am looking forward to, and especially if they're at the Venice Film Festival. Heavens. Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. Directed by Anna Lily Amirpour, pardon me, and The Power of the Dog, directed by Jane Campion. And those were United States, England, and Chinese productions for The Card Counter, Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon for the United States, and New Zealand, Australia was for The Power of the Dog. Continuing in the competition films, we have America Latina, directed by Damiano Dincenzo, Fabio Dincenzo, and that's an Italian and French production. Official competition, Gaston Depart and Mariano Cohn, Spain and Argentina. I apologize if that silent T was not necessary. Sundown by Michel Franco, Mexican, French, and Swedish production. Lost Illusions by Xavier Giannoli from France, and The Lost Daughter by Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is a production from Greece, United States, England, and Israel. Spencer for Hire. No. Spencer, directed by Pablo Larraín, a German and English production. UK and English. Am I allowed to use those interchangeably?
Say that again?
Am I allowed to use UK and English interchangeably, or should I say just UK? I think I should say UK production. That's what it says here. I'll read the copy. Leave No Traces. Oh, this one by Jan P. Matuszewski.
Poland, France.
France, and the Czech Republic. And The Hand of God, directed by Paolo Sorrentino from Italy. And Reflection, finally, from Valentin Vasiljevic from Ukraine. I did not pronounce 25 to 30% of those names correctly.
So I was thinking that we were just going to read off the titles.
No, I decided I was going to wrestle with the entire thing. Why not? Give these countries credit. We're in the time of Olympics.
Some U.S. notables that are out of the competition in fiction. Halloween Kills will debut there. Old Henry, The Last Duel, we just talked about, Dune, and Last Night in Soho, and the Edgar Wright film that I'm really excited to see. Super jazzed
for, yeah.
So that's cool. Venice Film Festival launched with their list, so you can get the full list of on Variety, and any of the. I think all the major trades will have the list that came out this morning.
You may be able to find the pronunciations as well. Steve, I warn you, if you put something in front of me, I will read everything on the teleprompter, even the punctuation.
Even the punctuation. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We're running late, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to save the last couple, 3 or 4, and hold those over till tomorrow.
Sounds good.
That way we can bring in our panel and get going on the Masters of the Universe Revelation talk. So let's do that, shall we?
Welcome.
Let's get in.
I have the power.
Let's bring in the Richard.
Aloha.
Onion Snipe, Tony J, and joining us today in this talk will be Turjay. Hey guys.
Turjay. Tony.
Oh, we got a hand of jokers. Is that an Orko hat?
It's a little homemade thing. I felt it fitting for the 2 episodes we're talking about today.
Oh, no, it's perfect.
Oh, good.
Episodes 3 and 4 of Masters of the Universe. You guys, Tony, can you give me a rundown of episode 4? Just in terms of the plot?
Off the top of my head, to be honest,
I can go to the wiki if you want.
Well, I mean, so you've got so they went back to pre-Eternia, right? In episode 4. They did
in episode 3, titled "The Most Dangerous Man in Eternia," traveling to recruit new allies in her quest, Tila goes to a village with Andra and Evelyn, which is being attacked by Triclops.
Okay. So yeah.
And then they're
with his rotons.
Yes.
That was pretty awesome. It's always good to see those vehicles used properly, because they never kind of were in the original series. That they kind of messed up the battle track in the original series, and they messed up a lot of the stuff in the original series. But it's really cool to see them using. It's like when they pull out the Star Wars the Kenner stuff in the Mandalorian. You know, like the Imperial troop carriers. You know, I kind of love all that, and it kind of does. It kind of brings back that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, it was that's right. It was a good episode. Yeah, very Mad Max.
I also have to say that the fact that they did justice to the old vehicles and animated them so lifelike in this new style is just amazing, because there's no obvious reason why the Roto would have these spinning pegs. It's an 80s toy, and they just brought it to life, and that's partly fan service and partly just going with the history.
Those vehicles are really good at plowing through like infantry troops. I think that's what the logic was with the rotating.
One of the reasons they've got it on the show is because the Roton is one of the first things that they use with the Mega Blocks. The Mattel sort of knockoff Lego Mega Constructs have done huge Master of the Universe stuff, and one of the vehicles they did was the Roton, and it works as well. It's a really amazing piece of engineering, but so that's really popular at them because they really want to sell that stuff.
Now, Richard, what did you think of the teaming of Man-at-Arms and Beast-Man?
Well, I mean, there's so much to talk about this one episode. This one really was kind of an odd. I mean, we get to see it just like what you would play if you had a bunch of your figures and you went over to your friend's house and I'll play Evil Lyn with Tila, and you can play Man-at-Arms and Beast-Man. That's the gist of it, which I love. Man-at-Arms actually wasn't in it very much. His role is very important, and he was about to reveal the in-game secret when Evil Lyn cuts him off. We don't have time for this family crap. Whatever. Beast-Man, I thought, was pretty well done. I'm still getting used to these alien creatures, beastly creatures with human voices. I really wish there was more snarls to Beast-Man, but he's badass, and his arc is pretty good. Triclops blew my mind. The whole motherboard thing.
Yeah.
It was some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. The eyeball coming out and everything. Them turning people, stealing their water, or trying to steal their magic water and then turn them into cyborgs. That's insane.
Yeah, that was. I really enjoyed that going to the fountain and then Man-at-Arms coming back and laying the beat down. Terje, did you? What did you think overall? This is the first time that you've been on talking about the show. Your history with Masters of the Universe, and you had the toys. I assume you watched the original show.
Oh yeah. I grew up with this show. I have fond memories of laying on my stomach on this really ugly red carpet my grandma had, watching her old white Philips television, and enjoying these amazing cartoons. And what I think really about this new iteration is that they have really managed to make a 3-dimensional story of a very 2-dimensional show.
Yes.
They've made really complex character arcs in just 5 episodes out of a show that has a lot of episodes with very flat characters. So they have really, really, really made this show come alive, and I can't praise it enough. I really love it. As an old school He-Man guy, I'm all for it. And behind me, this is mirrored, but behind me on the shelf here, there's the vintage Castle Grayskull and a lot of vintage figures. So I'm an old school guy, and this show has really blown me away. And I also see that a lot of people, of course, there's the hate and everything, and we're gonna get into that next episode, I guess. But in short, I just have to say, In short, I just have to say that a lot of people seem to forget that this is just the 5 first episodes. There's 5 more episodes. So
before we get
down.
Oh, exactly. The story's not even done yet. We haven't even seen the end. So, and I think we'd all agree to that. No point in judging an entire meal after you've only had the soup and salad. And so with that, now, okay, so I have a question. The robot. Roboto. Was Roboto a part of the original mythology, or is that something new for the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've expanded on him very much by having him clone essentially all the memories of Man-at-Arms. I thought that was genius.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Very good idea, because in the original show, he was just a crashed alien.
Yeah. The original toy, from what I remember, was incredibly brittle because it was made of see-through plastic, and it had like cogs inside, these colored cogs.
Yeah.
I think it was the original. I think the first version of it was incredibly brittle, and I think they used a slightly different plastic the second time around, like more like a vinyl. But yeah. Here's the thing. What they're doing with Master of the Universe is kind of the opposite to what they're doing with G.I. Joe. Is that whereas in the original thing, everything was based around He-Man and he was the focal point, and now it's more of an ensemble thing. Whereas Snake Eyes, everything is now based around Snake Eyes rather than him being part of a group. And what made Snake Eyes great was teamwork.
The character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stalker. How can you not have Stalker in a Snake Eyes origin? How can you not have
Flint?
Yeah,
I want Lady J.
Well, specifically,
where's Roadblock?
Stalker, because Stalker was his friend in the army.
Oh, that's true too. Yes.
And so I don't. It's really bizarre that they've chosen to do this, and I think Henry Golding was a really good choice to play the character, and but I don't know, it just, they're rushing into it. I mean, that Larry Hama run from the comics where you see the whole backstory and you see him out with Tinder. It's not Timber the wolf.
Yes.
Timber Wolf. Yes.
Tinder was the other wolf.
I don't mean to interrupt, Tony. I do appreciate it. I think Snake Eyes is actually quite thankful because of the amount of attention that Masters of the Universe got this weekend. No one had a chance to talk negatively about Snake Eyes.
Oh, just wait.
But speaking of Masters of the Universe, just to keep us on track, now we get into and this is something that had bothered you, Richard. You mentioned it before, just in terms of going to the portal to the Land of the Dead. Not Preternia, Dead Turnia. What Turnia was it?
Preternia.
No, Preternia's heaven. Post-Turnia or something.
Underturnia.
That was really. I thought that was cool.
It's something like that. The names are stupid.
It was a stupid name. It was a stupid name.
You didn't like Post-Turnia and Preternia? All right.
But the names are dumb. But the show is made for kids, and that's actually in the lore from forever ago. I don't know if they actually used them in the show. They are in the book.
Preternia was just in the lore originally. Preternia was just the old name of it was just Eternia in the past. That was basically what it was. And I think what they've done with it here is really interesting, really cool. But anyway, carry on.
But getting down to the underworld, though.
With Scareglow.
Scareglow, voiced by Tony Todd, the magnificent Tony Todd.
Absolutely.
This episode has been getting heat saying that he didn't do anything, and I just rewatched it. That he kicked ass. He was doing... Yeah. And another complaint about this episode alone is that, their worst nightmares weren't manifested well enough or something like that.
Oh, God.
It literally, Evil Lynn says to Andra, says to Orko, "Oh, that is scary," when he realizes that he's the only one surviving member of his race. And she says, "Oh, that is scary."
Yeah.
And she wasn't being, facetious or anything. That realizing, oh crap, my entire planet, my entire universe of his race are gone. Mm-hmm. So that puts him in a very... I think all of their nightmares empowered every single one of them. Andra, I don't know where the zombies came from or whatever. It's a cool scene though, and it reminds me of my favorite episode of Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. You remember when they're going through the swamp and they had the zombies come out?
Yeah.
That's what this episode reminded me of. But Scareglow, he did really well by, and he actually was helping. He was helping. Ultimately.
I thought it was pretty good episode.
Well, he was kind of like a ferryman. He wanted something in return for maybe helping them, and he tried to screw them over, but he was essentially trying to like feed off their fears because that's what kind of gets him off. That's what he wants. And it doesn't always have to be about roundhouse kicking and sword fighting. He was doing a different battle with them. He was doing a battle of both wits and strategy and fear.
And heart.
Which kind of made him a more interesting character than just another skeleton with a club.
Well, and also, wasn't that the sequence that conjured Nega He-Man?
Yeah.
And the battle between Teela and Nega He-Man, I'm just going to call him that. I apologize if I'm offending any fans in the audience. So they have the fight, and then Nega He-Man transforms into Nega Teela, which, maybe a little bit of a cliche. I have many faces. This one suits you best, but it was a representation of her fear. And also, she wasn't mad at He-Man. She was mad at herself thematically. It
was a version of herself back when she had optimism as well.
Yeah, it was. She was back in the original uniform. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was a cool underworld and everybody getting their battles, but also in terms of, and I completely skipped over this and I apologize, but having Orko along and the characterization of Orko, making a character who was basically just Snarf from Thundercats into an actual character during this, I thought was like there was a tragedy to him. He wasn't just a jester. I enjoyed it.
Well, that's always been true, though. He's always been compared to Snarf, and he does help all the time, and he is one of the most beloved characters of all time, despite what anybody says. And we literally see, after that first episode, which people, the complaints and all that, they killed. No, nobody killed He-Man. He-Man sacrificed himself, and what the cost was not only losing He-Man, we lost the power, we lost magic, and that's killing all of the beings who exist on magic, such as Orko, and that's why it's more powerful in his case, because he's literally dying, and the sorceress, but we can see him withering away, and it's so tragic. And his moment there, where he stands up and defends himself, he finds his strength and confidence that he's never had before, and he saves the day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And to say that Scareglow is responsible for the battle that kills Orko. Like, he didn't do anything? That doesn't make any sense to me.
What do you mean he didn't do anything?
Well, I thought you were mentioning people having a complaint saying that he hadn't done anything.
No. It's saying that Scareglow didn't have much time. He didn't really do anything.
He wasn't much of a threat.
He wasn't much of a threat. No, he was a brain fucker for sure.
Oh,
he was big time.
And responsible for the death of Orko.
And, yeah.
Yeah, and also you have to, when you watch a show like this, you have to kind of remember that they have 25 minutes per episode to tell a story. And if they use all the time and make like a two-parter about Scareglow, they'll never get anywhere because they have 10 times 25 minutes. You have to be able to fill in some blanks yourself and kind of live with the fact that the story is going kind of fast forward. It's not Star Trek Next Generation. There's not going to be 27 episodes that are 45 minutes.
No, exactly. And I would have taken a full episode of Stinkor, so whatevs.
We'll see him again. We'll see him again.
This is also true about, look at the Hulk, for instance. Everyone's going on about, why don't we get to see the Savage Hulk again? And it's like, but you're condensing 60 years of comics history into, 24 movies, of which, he was only in, half a dozen? So you're condensing 60 years into 12 hours. And it's like, well, we did get to see him kick some major ass, but we also want to see some evolution in the character, you know?
Absolutely. And I think just in reference to the MCU, just so I can get back to my comfortable canoe, like you got Demon in a bottle for one scene in Iron Man 2, basically.
Yeah.
And so, that's all you're going to get for Demon in a Bottle. Sorry, but that's the way it's going to go when you have these condensed storylines and you have to get everything in there. But back to Masters of the Universe, because we have, my first segue was so good and now I've lost it. Oh, Prince Adam is where I was going to go.
Yeah.
That's in the next episode, though. We're not quite there yet. I wanted to ask.
The introduction to him, though, it is the reveal at the end that Prince Adam is there.
My question was,
sir,
do you think Orko is gone forever? He died in a plane of death, in a place where dead people go. So do you think, and I'm getting really deep here, but I mean, people have journeyed throughout mythology to the underworld lots of times. Do you think we're going to see Orko again?
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. I think we're. I do think there is going to be a forward momentum, and I don't think it's going to end. I don't think it's. I mean, there's a possibility that the last episode could end and go back to the beginning, and it could go back and it could reset the status quo. I'm hoping they don't do that. I'm hoping they do go forward. But I can't imagine that they would kill Ko forever. I think if there's a tiny particle of him left, they can probably bring him back.
Well, Tila does have part of the sash, so.
Yep.
Oh, yes, she does. Yes, she does. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So, and then when that whole climactic Orko's battle with Scareglow explodes, it tosses them immediately onto the beautiful scenery of Preternia, and that's where Scotty comes in.
Yes, and so that is at this point,
it was Subternia. Subternia, that's what it is.
Subternia. Okay, Subternia is the underworld, and Preternia is the heavenly spot.
And I don't know how much of this dovetails in with episode 5. But so they get half of the Sword of Power. They head and they are tossed into Preternia, where it is revealed that, hi, I'm Adam. And they reunite at the end of episode 4.
That's correct.
Tune in next time.
I find some of the dialogue is
same heat channel.
Oh God, you're gonna piss people off by saying that.
It's good branding. I like it. It's no worse than Bat Time.
Sorry, carry on, Rich.
Please.
Same heat time, same heat channel. Ooh, what about She Time?
Yeah. There are different time zones. There's an AM. There's a PM. You don't know.
Hey, one thing that we forgot is Merman. We get to see Merman and his merfolk as pirates attacking, and Man-at-Arms comes to the rescue, even though he was supposed to be defending Castle Grayskull. So in this episode, we do get to see this is the second or third time we've seen Merman summon flashbacks. Yes. And this one started with a flashback. That's right. Yeah,
that's right. Richard, who was in this flashback at the beginning of this episode? Was there a specific? Yes. So He-Man was in this episode. There's what?
Yep.
How many? Yeah. So he's in it.
Nearly every episode, though. Okay. We'll address all the complaints and everything tomorrow. I definitely am writing a list of mine, and I do agree with some people out there. So it'll be exciting to jump into that.
Yes. I am looking forward to that, and that is going to happen tomorrow on the Fantasmagorium. I suppose, gentlemen, I should thank you all for joining us here today. Don't give me that look. And hopefully we'll see you guys all tomorrow. And
wait a second, we've got another episode to talk about.
That was episode 4. That was the bottom.
No, that was episode 3.
We actually didn't talk about what happened in episode 4.
Okay.
in Pretoria.
You know what? I'm gonna pass it on because you guys know this better than I do right now.
Well, so anyway, so back in 1987, there was kind of this weird mystery action figure that a lot of people called Wonder Bread He-Man. Some people believe that it was given away free with Wonder Bread, but no one could actually find this advert until I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Someone actually found a copy of this advert, but some people think it was fake and blah blah blah. So basically, he was He-Man with brown hair, with Zodak's chest plate, but in black, not red, and a black sword and a black axe, right? If I remember rightly. And we got to see that character. We got to see that character in this episode. We also got to see Vicor, who was one of the prototype figures way back in 1981. In fact, so it was called Vicon originally. Mm-hmm. And he was basically, He-Man was going to have 3 costumes. He was going to have a sci-fi costume that didn't look at all like Boba Fett. He was going to have a Viking style costume, and then for some reason he literally dressed up as a tank. He had a tank, a helmet that looked like a tank. It was both ridiculous and amazing at the same time. But anyway, so this is Vicor, and then of course the other one is King Grayskull, which is played by Dennis Haysbert.
That would be in the 5th. So
sorry.
Yeah, I screwed up. I did get a lot of them confused. So what I'm thinking is, for me personally, I'm thinking of rehashing all the first 4 episodes, catching all the things that the highlights and a few things that we missed.
We can talk about that next time.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we'll do that.
It's kind of difficult to tell the episodes apart because essentially they're just one long running story.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
If you do sit down and see it in one sitting and just remove like the next episode cutting from Netflix, it's basically a movie.
Scott's right. We've actually talked about episodes 3 and 4 in this.
Yeah, you are right.
We did, and I didn't realize it.
Dude,
we can always snip it off. We can always snip it off.
We'll fix it in post. No, the entire reason I ceded the floor to the experts. You guys know more about the toys and the lore than I do, and so when you say that I'm, overstepping, you're the ones who know Eternia better than I do.
Yeah,
so, well, that's the problem. We got so caught up in our knowledge that we weren't paying attention to the rules.
But I agree with Turja. It was a movie that I watched. Did we all binge all 5 all at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've seen the same movie.
Day I saw it in two nights, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Either way, but it was it's fresh, but it's hard to tell the episodes apart because it is just a single storyline, and I can't wait for the second half of this storyline, or at least the second of the 2-parter, essentially. I'm really looking forward to it. So, if it's not too much trouble, gentlemen, I'd like to invite you back tomorrow and put an end to this wacky Monday.
That'd be great. I posted a link in our thingy here.
Yes,
if
sir.
you could put that in our chat.
Absolutely.
It's the link to my Facebook page, Masters of the Universe, The Richards Art and Revelations. It shows a lot of my art and all the interviews and shows that I'm doing like this.
Okay.
So,
absolutely, I will definitely.
I'm going to pop back in here and ask everybody if they don't mind sticking around to take some comments and questions. I know there's some comments. Sure they'll be about this, so let's do that. Before we get to that, though, I do want to thank some new subscribers. Darius Munchausen, Facebook, Jabari Muhammad, and I think this is Naldak, Naladach. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, now let's go to the chat. See what we got.
Let's.
All right.
Ahoy, chat. How are you today? All right. Naladoc?
Naladak? Okay.
Naladak.
Slurpees.
Naladak.
Oh damn.
Slurpees and
mowing lawns are tight. It's true.
Yes, they are. Music level is entirely too high. Okay. So what he's saying though, Scotty, is if I turn it down, it's okay.
Let's
Not saying
continue.
remove.
I have to say, I do agree. I did like the music. I just would tone it down a little in the volume.
I'd say just a tad, not even that much, just a tad.
Yeah, a tad, just a smidge.
So just a smidge. Perhaps music outro only, but no music during your audio. Maybe.
Music made it come alive a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Do you want to play it again since we're answering their questions now? And Tony and Terje and I weren't,
Yes.
or at least I was not here.
I can absolutely do that right now.
Hello, and welcome to the Fantasmagorium Show channel. I am Scotty R37.
And I'm Steve Foley. Please join us Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time,
As we run down the day's top television and movie news headlines, comment on geeky pop culture, and talk about the things we love.
So don't miss an episode. Please hit that subscribe button now.
Do it.
Do it now.
Lower the volume, and Steve, you're already softer volume than Scotty, so you may want to try and normalize yourselves in that regard, because you're more soft spoken and he's more of a harpy.
Yeah, we'll probably. I probably won't do that because we didn't record it on separate audio tracks, but that's fine.
But the music is just a tad too loud. I agree with everybody there. Yeah, I think it's freaking awesome.
It's great.
But I think
I did like the music. I thought it was really peppy, and it made me feel kind of
alive.
Well, okay,
awesome.
Okay.
I love
That's what I
harpies.
thought. That's the way I thought too. I thought it. Okay.
Oh, it adds. Naladak.
Wait, we did that one.
Oh, Todd Michael is here. G.I. Joe is essentially... Hey, Todd Michael. G.I. Joe is essentially a niche product now with 2 mediocre films before it. There is no younger demographics for these IPs.
Yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
I mean, and I'll tell you what proves this new Hasbro G.I. Joe classifieds they just brought out, which are aimed at collectors. They're not aimed at the regular. They're not aimed at kids anymore. Yeah. I mean, the fact that some of them are virtually impossible to get hold of proves that. So it's like, yeah,
I have 2 nephews. Neither one of them plays G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just kind of the reality of it.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're actually making these even the toys anymore for kids. I think it's toys for 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
The movies should really be the hook. I mean, as well as more animation, but for the younger audience, because who doesn't love ninjas? It makes perfect sense.
I know.
How did they screw it up so bad?
Well, I think that they're just afraid of the costumes. And one of the things that drew me into were the individual characters who were defined by their costumes. They looked like who they were. And the productions of these movies are not making the individual costumes or character designs. They're afraid of them for some reason. It may have something to do with Street Fighter, the movie. But it's just something... It's just something that they haven't touched. And again, as I said off the hop, I'm waiting for Shipwreck.
You'll get your Shipwreck. That's what I was going to say.
You know what? Here's the thing. This is something they should have done in the 80s. They should have made. I mean, just look at something like Power Rangers. Imagine if Deke had made a live action G.I. Joe show in the 90s, or a film, or Missing in Action or whatever. Those were the days of action heroes. Yeah. Slap on a freaking Ships Ahoy hat and whatever, Shipwreck, and have him go out there and fight. But
yes,
yeah. I mean,
but if you feel sad and down, just put on G.I. Joe, the animated movie, and watch them blow bombs and fight.
Oh, yeah.
Also, G.I. Joe has a 24-hour stream. G.I. Joe does. Yeah, they've got a 24-hour animated
I really do
stream.
like the movie.
Whenever I put that on YouTube, it's always the episode where they go into the alternate dimension, and Snake Eyes and Shipwreck and the others are doing the can, and it's like
that sucks.
And it's always that same episode. It's always the can alternate universe episode. I think that's what it's called. I don't know what the actual name of the episode is, but it's always the episode that's on. And
it's your own personal Groundhog Day hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
But for fans of nostalgic fans of G.I. Joe, there's their official channel has, and it's got both of the series, like the 1981 and 1984 or whatever. It's got both the series in rotation. So
the thing is, here's the thing: of all the toy lines that will actually make good films, G.I. Joe's not one of them. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers Centurions. Now that would make a great film because you've got three leads. You've got interesting characters. There are like 5 main heroes. There are a couple of villains. They have an army, but it's not a huge ensemble piece. It's something that could be much more structured.
I think if in the right hands it could work. I just don't think it's found the right hands yet.
Retaliation was it the last one? I liked it in a way. Because it went political, it was less goofy as the first one. It made a little bit more sense to me. I didn't like the fact that they killed, was it Duke, Channing Tatum?
Well, they were supposed to do that in the
animated movie.
In the animated movie, but
but we needed more of him. His star power and everything. It would have. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Don't love it. I saw a lot of the flaws, and they should have kept him there for a while and then have the dramatic killing of, at the time, the hottest person on the planet, Channing Tatum. Even though The Rock was he was nudging up there, or maybe they were equal. I don't know, but Channing Tatum was Michael. Channing Tatum was coming off of Magic Mike.
We're just all waiting for the Mask movie. Moving
on. Yeah. Did you? Well, speaking of. Where's my camera?
You got it.
Oh yeah,
actually, Mask would make a really good movie, I think.
Yep.
Because especially if they did the actual, because Miles Mayhem and Matt Tracker were partners. They worked together, and then he betrayed. And the story of Miles Mayhem betraying Matt Tracker could be a really fun movie.
I hope that they stick to do at least one Mask as themselves, because somebody was telling me yesterday they're all owned by the same conglomerate now. So G.I. Joe, Mask, G.I. Joe, Mask, and the others, they have their universe now. Visionaries, I think, and ROM Space Knight is actually part of it too.
And Transformers, and
So let them have their own movie first, and then subtly bring in the others. That's what I said.
Battle of the Planets movie is being written and made right now too, which is where I'm.
Well, there was that they did. Do you remember Atom? Do you remember the Atom Boy CGI movie that came out about 10 years ago? The team that was working on that was making a Battle of the Planets movie, and it was in production at the same time as the live action Gatchaman movie in Japan. But it just never happened, and the designs looked amazing.
It's my absolute favorite cartoon when I was a kid. Anyways, moving on. Next, what's up next, Scotty?
Naladoc says G.I. Joe didn't even get any true negative online drama like Tila and the Masters of the Universe did. That's a true story.
It may not have got drama like that, but it got roundly panned.
Is it on streaming as well, or is it just in theaters?
Just in theaters.
Well, that's why, because you'd have to leave. People would have to leave the house.
Right.
I'm not going.
Yeah.
All right.
Naladoc continues. And that's no doubt the same demographic between those. You would think that they would, but it is worse to be ignored than to be hated. Todd Michael says, yeah, we'll never get a G.I. Joe Ice Cream Soldier origin now. Woe is us.
Woe is us.
You see, this is the character that the character of Chuckles, the spy, would make a fantastic movie, and that's what a lot of people, I think, Retro Blasting was talking about this. That first scene in the scene at the construction site in Casino Royale, where Daniel Craig is wearing the Hawaiian shirt. Everyone was going, "This looks like Chuckles the movie," and they weren't wrong. He kind of did.
He did look like Chuckles. You're right. Now that you mention it. Yeah. Todd Michael says, Uncanny Valley CG human animation is most definitely not tight. I assume that's a criticism for Black Lotus.
It is.
Yeah, right.
And fair enough, but it still looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
It looks better than Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Oh.
Naladoc says, I'm not sure how you are allowed to say Brian Cox on YouTube, nor am I aware. My favorite character on Scrubs was Dr. Cox.
Brian Cox coming out of your mouth.
Oh, God damn you.
Yeah. The Richard says, aloha, everyone. Be back in a tick.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is like time travel.
Richard.
Gundle Whittlebaum, how are you, buddy? How are you today, sir? Good show today, fellas. The Blade Runner cartoon makes my soul weep. Why do we need to expand on every universe? We are so greedy to ask for inferior writers to add on to what isn't theirs to begin with.
That is both a very good point.
Yeah.
But also a little. It's like, I want more Blade Runner. I still want a Blade Runner MMORPG video game more than anything.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to get something along those lines with Cyberpunk 2077.
That's what I was going to ask. Was it similar?
You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the release of the remastered point-and-click Blade Runner Adventure, which is coming in a while.
It is amazing. It is an amazing
feat. The old one still stands up, and if they're going to do a good job with remastering it, I bet it's going to be
in 4K. Imagine that in 4K with in the Unreal Engine or something. Be amazing.
Revolutionary game. Yeah.
Amazing.
I love Unreal Engine, by the way. Huge fan.
Yeah. Especially 5. 5 looks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I don't think we're going to get a lot of games in 5 for a few years, but yeah, it's exciting. It is very exciting.
What's up next, Scotty?
Cam says, hey, Scotty and Steve, Val was so cool. I'd check out his book. Cam, I'm assuming that you saw Val. And if you did see the documentary, that's, please throw a review in the comments, either now or after the video goes on YouTube.
Oh, actually, that's maybe a good segue into saying we are looking for people who'd like to write movie reviews and television reviews, any kind of blogging or news writing that you'd like to do on our website. So if that's you and you want to contribute, please hit the contact us link on our website, and we'll get back to you right away.
Yep.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Gundle Whittlebaum continues. William Goldman wrote Good Will Hunting, but I'm assuming but revived no praise, possibly received no praise. Right. Damon and Affleck wrote an action movie that had one good half that could be salvaged. New third writer is probably the film's saving grace.
Man, yeah. Well, don't hold back.
Well, he's not.
Gundle is savage today.
Yeah.
But valid point.
It is a valid point. It's a valid point.
And yes, Nautalock, you're absolutely right. It was Subternia.
Yes.
Yeah, Subternia. I'm going to use the opportunity to plug an album. If you want to have some more Subternia, listen to the album Subterranea by British IQ.
Yeah. There you go.
Excellent.
Tony nods. Yes.
Can you put that in chat? Can you put that in chat?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it when the video is received afterwards. I'll put a link.
Cool. I like the nod of approval. Thank you, Tony. Gundel continues.
Very solid.
Audio level made it difficult to hear the opening intro. Thank you, Gundel. I appreciate that. Oh, don't look quizzical.
Well, there is no the opening intro has no audio.
I think he's talking about the video with the music.
No, yes, I know, but there's so right after the intro plays, there's a couple second with no music, and then the music starts. So I'm not sure what he means. Maybe he means the entire thing, which I think we're probably going to drop the level, see how that goes, and then move from there and see if I get even finickier. Yeah.
Todd Michael says they opened the G.I. Joe second film by killing off practically all of the Joes. It was ridiculous. It was
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think this is our last comment of the day.
Well, thank you, Todd Michael. Disney needs to buy ROM. Full rights.
Hasbro has it.
That's Hasbro. Parker Brothers stuff, all Parker Brothers stuff, all Kenner stuff is now owned by Hasbro and has been for years.
And I'm sure Todd Michael knows that. But I think he said Disney needs to buy it from Hasbro. Go ahead.
Oh, what? So you can put him back in the MCU? Yeah,
he says folds right back into Marvel and create a film series based on
Bill Mantlow's original comics.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
that would be great.
Here's the thing: he's not that popular now. Meaning, he's one of my beloveds, and I found some original comics last night, and I'll find some more tonight of his.
You know who was calling for a ROM show and for Marvel to get ROM back was the late great John Schnepp.
Yeah, he was indeed. Yeah, and Micronauts. He wanted Micronauts. Back
Micronauts. That's the other one. Micronauts are with Hasbro now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the whole thing. Micronauts, ROM, G.I. Joe, Transformers.
You got to remember that Hasbro are the official toy maker for Marvel, and have been for 15 years now, ever since Toy Biz fell apart. So it's so weird that they haven't gone. It's kind of weird that they've gone this way. I think they've made this huge mistake with trying to create their own cinematic universe.
What tangled webs we weave, all of this, it literally could come down to Disney. Every single freaking thing IP out there, it could. Obviously we don't want that, and I mean it's not going to happen in our lifetime, hopefully. But ROM is not popular enough to. He could appear as a side character. They could loan him, but why go out of their way to loan him for a Marvel movie when he doesn't have any attention at the moment? He's got to appear somewhere else to. Essentially, like as I'm doing the Friday the 13th card game, Warner Brothers, who owns New Line and Paramount, they're telling me, maybe wrong on New Line now, but they're telling me I need to have 5 games on a big box shelf before they'll even sell me the license. Back when I had the money to pay, I still had to go through all these hoops. So I can only imagine the kind of craziness between like Hasbro and Disney, even though they're working together. It's got to be crazy. So I don't see a lot of this happening in the interim. I don't think we're going to see ROM for a while. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
There's always hope, and there's always a new thing. I'd rather have a new thing that isn't made yet, as opposed to something that was crap.
ROM is not crap. ROM is bad.
But I'm just. Neither is Snake Eyes. But look what they did.
Oh, it ended up being crap. Yeah.
And then Degrassi Noel says not even Chris Rial could save ROM.
Well, we just have to see. Fingers crossed, because like I said, he's one of my beloved characters. I've not read him in 30 some years. So.
And Naladoc says, I am sad we'll never get another entry in the Battleship cinematic universe. Wait for it.
You know what? I wouldn't hold your breath.
You sank my battleship.
They don't even say that. Anyway, Degrassi Noel says James Gunn tried to get ROM for a Guardians of the Galaxy cameo. Maybe for Volume 3. Like, I was just thinking, I agree with you, Degrassi.
Okay, all right.
My
interest level just went up.
Wow.
Hashtag justice for
ROM wasn't built in a day.
Yeah. Good one.
You're hired.
I still don't. I don't think Hasbro's gonna play ball.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think that ship sailed.
Yeah.
I think they're really stuck on this idea, and because they're doing, I think because Paramount. Don't forget, Paramount lost Iron Man. They lost Captain America to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but both. I mean, the first Avenger and the original Iron Man movies were both Paramount, distributed by the Paramount. So it's like they lost out on that. So now they think, well, we've got Transformers, we've got G.I. Joe, and all this stuff from Hasbro. And I just think it's huge. I don't know. I think they're putting the horse, putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Talking about Transformers, doesn't the third season hit on Friday?
Yeah, this week.
Or is it sooner? Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, Earthfall, Earthrise,
Kingdom.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Kingdom.
yeah.
I've actually been liking those.
Me too.
Season 2 was Earthrise. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
So this is basically from this is kind of a redo of this is like this season 3 is basically like the original series. So it's all set on Earth, right? This one.
Yeah, combined with a rehash of Beast Wars.
Yeah. Oh.
I love the concept of Beast Wars. Let me say that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the
me
execution
too.
will be good.
Yeah, but I'd rather just have one or the other. If it's Transformers, I want it to be Transformers. If it's Beast Wars, I want it to be Beast Wars.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, there's that one episode of, I think it might have been Beast Machines actually, where they go back and you actually see the comatose bodies of the Transformers.
Yeah, it was Beast Wars. It was a season cliffhanger. I don't remember what season, but basically they were out to destroy Optimus Prime's body to kind of change the past. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. Terje, thank you very much for being a part of the show. We will see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's see. Tony, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. The Richard, thank you always, dude. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll wrap this thing up. It's probably going to be a big show.
It's going to be
there's a lot of drama. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for
big.
being a part of the show, dude. All right, Scotty, that just leaves you and me. Well, we snuck in one last comment here.
Naladoc says, no, that was Beast Wars. Primal taking Prime's spark is what evolves him into Optimal Prime. See, I was thinking that
Optimal Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Optimal Optimus. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Yeah. We'll check that out. That's coming this week. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. I've been liking that show. So great show today. Like I said, I love doing these shows with you.
I do too, man.
Shows as long as people keep coming and watching them.
Don't forget to leave your comments in regards to the trailer music.
I think we got it. So here's what I'll do. I'll make one without music and one with very low music, and then we'll hash that out and see which one works the best. But unless you have anything else, Scott,
I think I'm spent.
I think we're done for the day. So
thanks
for
again
Scotty
to
R37,
everyone who was here.
I am Steve Foley, and have a great day, everybody.
See you guys.